This is part 19 of our Never Buy a Clayton Manufactured Home from Hell videos. And we are exposing the fraudulent state inspection report from the criminal state inspector Howard Delk, who works for the corrupt Texas Department of Housing and Community Affairs Manufactured Housing Division. And this inspection was conducted at the peak of the coronavirus pandemic. Inspector Delk was not wearing any type of face covering. Inspector Delk wiped or picked his nose continuously and repeatedly throughout his inspection, then had no problems touching anybody or anything after he picked or wiped his nose. Nice, huh? So before we get started with Criminal Delk's fraudulent inspection report, I'd like to show you a demand letter that we had sent in July of 2020 to Clayton's corporate office in Tennessee through the Tennessee Attorney General's office, where we demanded Clayton Homes provide and properly install a brand new Magnolia manufactured home, the same make and model as the one currently on the property, and reimburse for the costs incurred to date related to the defective home, or Clayton Homes remit payment of $250,000 as reimbursement for the cost of the home, the cost of the foundation, and various costs related to the defective home. And Clayton Homes permanently removed Jeffy Levy, the sales manager at the Fort Worth office, for deceptive practices. Clayton Homes liar attorney Brent Wells pretty much told us to go F ourselves. And this is what he said regarding us wanting the general manager of Clayton Homes, Jeffy Levy, permanently removed. Where he writes, "The third demand of Mr. Blank's attached email is the most absurd. Apparently, Mr. Blank believes he has the right to tortiously interfere in the employment relationship existing between CMH and his general manager, Jeffy Levy, merely because Mr. Blank has cultivated his own personal animosity toward manager Levy, and is not a legal reason for seeking to have such manager fired. CMH will make its own decisions about how to deploy its personnel and will not be guided by Mr. Blank's unreasonable insistence on everything but the right response." So, Clayton Homes liar attorney Brent Wells, I'm sure you're aware by now that Jeffy Levy is no longer employed by Clayton Homes. In fact, the Texas Department of Housing and Community Affairs Manufactured Housing Division have revoked his license. So in our last video, which was part 18 of our Never Buy a Clayton Manufactured Home from Hell videos, we had left off with the criminal state inspector Howard Delk flat out lying about 6 items in his report. And the last item was he wouldn't believe the homeowners that the transom windows were leaking. And this is it.
Not a code violation. Look at these windows. Yep. They look good to you. I don't know which one you're pointing. It's right here. These ones popping out like a pimple.
They leak.
Not a code violation.
They leak.
Not a code violation.
Is it a code violation if they leak every time it rains?
It leaks. Both these windows leak. If they leak, that's a code violation. Now, do you have a hose? You can spray it on the windows. We can see that. Oh, well, we don't know where it's leaking from. They silicone these like 8,000 times. Have they leaked? Have they leaked? Yes.
They leak every time it rains.
Okay. All right. Well, can you put a hose on it so we can see? Not right this second. I won't. I will. All right. As soon as you watch the video of him bringing that thing up here, then I'll put a hose on there for you. How's that?
Did you hear him laughing? We don't think this is funny at all. This is our house. This is where we have to live, and he thinks this is a game.
Make sure you write stuff down. I can't write that fast. All right, go ahead. All right, here's how they do the air conditioner thing. Okay. This right here. Yeah. Yeah, I fixed it. Oh, okay. So this is fixed. Yeah. Okay. Oh, and right here, here's where Jimmy Turner doesn't see any gap. We have this on video right here. And he said, wow, I see what you're saying right here. I see what you're saying. And you can see it on video. And then their attorney, he comes over here. What's that? Yeah.
So this is Charles Gramey, the service manager of Southern Energy Homes. And this is Eric Tompax. He's the vice president of NTA. And in a minute, Criminal Delk is going to ask if it's smart panel. Then you watch both these two guys shake their head at the same time. Let's watch.
Okay. Their attorney comes over here and he takes the picture this way so you can't see them. Yeah. And I have it on video. What I need to do on this one, okay. Now on this is smart panel, right?
See, that was funny, huh? Now Criminal Delk is going to ask how the smart panel is fastened to the side of the house. Then you watch Eric Tompax from NTA. He acts like he wants to handle this question. Then he realizes what he's doing. He steps back and lets Gramey move in. Let's watch.
Smart panel at the left joint, do they require that the fastener be real close to the edge? How far back from the edge? I thought you were the inspector. Why?
So I'm going to tell you what's going on here. In a second, Criminal Delk is going to inform me that this house is the product of Charles Gramey, the service manager of Southern Energy Homes. Let's watch.
Real close to the edge. How far back from the edge? I thought you were the inspector. Why are you asking him? Because it's his product.
Although Charles Gramey, the service manager of Southern Energy Homes, plays a part in all of this, it is not his product. It is Eric Tompax, the vice president of NTA. It's his product. His company are a HUD certified DAPIA, which stands for Design Approval Primary Inspection Agency. And NTA is also the IPIA. That stands for the Implant Inspection Agency. And NTA's insignia is stamped into the HUD label that's affixed to the side of the house. So not only is NTA involved in the design of the house, they're also the quality control. And that's the last thing Criminal Delk wants me to know. Because he knows that Eric Tompax, the vice president of NTA, is not permitted to be retained by the liar attorney of Clayton Homes and be the IPIA for this house at the same time. He should not be on this inspection. We have his report and we have video of every picture he took. So what he's doing is he takes multiple pictures of the same item at slightly different angles. Then he goes back to his office and he picks out the picture that'll best suit Clayton Homes. Not only did I catch him doing it, I also caught criminal state inspector Jimmy Turner doing it and Clayton Homes liar attorney Brent Wells doing it. And Criminal Delk did mention the hardboard siding in number 11 of his report, where he writes, homeowner showed exterior hardboard siding which he felt was installed incorrectly, with excessive gaps at panel joints and insufficient caulking. Review of the manufacturer's installation instructions found that the siding was installed correctly. No nonconformance was observed. He must have forgotten that we were filming this. And in section 1201.356, the report shall specify each of the consumer's complaints. So do you think this is what they meant by specify? Review of the manufacturer's installation instructions found that the siding was installed correctly. So, I want to know, how does he know this? Is he some kind of super inspector who can see through walls and paneling? So let me show you what they mean by specify. Now this is page 36 of the Vice President of NTA, Eric Tompax's report. And up here, he's referring to the structural engineer that we hired from Texas Structural Engineers, where he writes, the TSE report opines that the home is unusually uneven without providing any assessment of typical construction tolerances or warpage levels permitted in wood-framed construction. Furthermore, the assessment methods shown in the photographs provided in the TSE report do not depict assessment of the structure using established measurement methods or assessment criteria such as those established by the National Association of Home Builders guidelines. So these fraudulent inspection reports from the criminal state inspectors from the Texas Department of Housing and Community Affairs Manufactured Housing Division are not worth the paper they're written on. And there is a detailed procedure set forth by federal HUD that explains each and every aspect of these homes from start to finish. And it starts with Statute 3280, Manufactured Home Construction and Safety Standards, and ends with Statute 3288.110. So if you've purchased one of these manufactured homes and you feel like things had not been done correctly, you can go on Federal HUD's website and check for yourself. And if you happen to find some discrepancies, then you can go on Federal HUD's complaint board and take it up with them. Because I can assure you that 90% of the stuff that was supposed to happen at my place did not. So I think we're going to wrap up part 19 of our Never Buy a Clayton Manufactured Home from Hell video. And we're going to put the smart panel on the board for number 7, that he lied and didn't specify the smart panel. And then you can go back and watch the video and tell me if this happened. Homeowner showed exterior hardboard siding which he felt was installed incorrectly. Well, I don't remember saying anything about that. With excessive gaps in panel joints and insufficient caulking. Well, I'm pretty sure I didn't say any of that. So please watch all of our videos and remember to like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment. Thanks for watching. See you in a couple weeks.